Leading off our coverage tonight is Congressman Adam Smith of Washington State. He is the top Democrat on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us tonight. What is your understanding, if we can have one, of the state of Donald Trump's war tonight? Oh, we don't have...
Sorry, I was muted there. My apologies. Okay. No, look, he doesn't have a particular vision. I mean, his goal, his idea when he started was that he was basically going to do what he does in every aspect of his life. He was going to use coercion, violence, and action against people to force them to capitulate. So I think he imagined that at some point Iran would capitulate in the way that apparently Venezuela has. And Iran was never going to do that. Iran is an entirely different situation than Venezuela. So that was his goal. And now, you know, as we're in the fourth week of the war, it's very clear that simply bombing them, however effectively, and I take the military at its word that they've been very effective in terms of knocking out Iranian targets, they can't knock out enough Iranian targets to get this Iranian regime to capitulate. So what now? I don't think Trump honestly knows. So he's making a bunch of threats in a bunch of different directions. People like Lindsey Graham are imagining that somehow we can send in 5,000 Marines and fundamentally change the situation. We can't, by the way. All that would do would be to escalate it and drive up the cost. So Trump's stuck, and I don't think he knows where to go, which is why I'm urging him to stop the war, at least stop the cost and the loss of life, and come up with a better plan, but he doesn't know where he's going right now.
Well, he promised to be bombing civilian infrastructure sites as of this hour tonight, over 48 hours ago. He stepped back from that threat this morning as he saw what was going to happen on the stock market if he didn't retract that threat, extended it for 5 days, which gives him 5 days of stock trading, I guess, in his mind. But as we go forward, what would be the negotiating objective of the war that Donald Trump has declared here?
Yeah, well, it's a key policy challenge. I mean, first of all, if he's looking at options to escalate, to try to finally get Iran to capitulate, he doesn't have good options. I mean, we don't have enough troops, even if we tried to take over Iran, and sending in a few isn't going to change the situation. But that's what he's looking at. Is, you know, might sending in some troops, might seizing Karg Island or doing something else with the Marines have an appreciable difference. I don't think it will. The other thing he can do, of course, is ramp up the attacks to target infrastructure, which you're not supposed to do in a war. And also, it would undermine one of the central goals here, and that is to show the Iranian people that we're not against them, we're against the regime. Well, if you start bombing all of their fuel sources, you push them to the position of starvation and blackouts and deprivation, well, then you are making war on the Iranian people, which is counterproductive. So I don't think he knows how to escalate to get Iran to a different position. And then I can't put it any better than you put it a moment ago in terms of what he could hope to get from a negotiation. Nothing better than what Barack Obama got that Donald Trump stupidly tore up in his first term.
His idea that, as he put it, me and the Ayatollah, that's who's going to control the Strait of Hormuz in his imagined negotiations today. And he threatened the massive, war crime bombing that would occur tonight if the Strait of Hormuz was not open tonight. It's not open. He failed to go through with that threat. So hasn't he shown the Iranians that his threats can be ignored?
Oh, absolutely. And he's also shown, with now going on almost 4 weeks of war, that Iran can take our best punch. I mean, it hurts. Certainly, it has weakened them, but it's not going to topple the regime. So now what? I mean, if you walk into a room and the only play you got with the guy you're dealing with basically is to punch him in the face, and you do so, and he just keeps smiling back at you, then what? And that's where we're at right now. And I really want to emphasize for all this talk that as long as this war goes on, the costs continue to go up, more lives are at risk, more civilians will die, more U.S. service members are at risk. And for what? What more is he going to achieve by continuing this war at this point? And that's the pressure we need to put on the Trump administration, but the Republicans in Congress as well. How can you justify continuing the bloodshed and continuing the disruption when you don't have a path towards achieving any kind of goal or policy objective that would make it even close to worth continuing that war?
Congressman Adam Smith, thank you very much for starting off our coverage tonight.
Thanks, Lawrence.